I like that one. Okay, so welcome back. Welcome back. I'm so happy to have you here today. This is Adalí Gracia with you today again. And today we are in the Agile Project Management Workshop number 2. This is the second workshop out of the 3 workshops that we have, the Project Management Workshop Series for 2022. I'm so happy to have you here with me. I'm going to dive in to the Agile Project Management Workshop. But you can let me know in the chat, where are you from? What are your expectations? What I can see your names here, but any questions that you may have in the beginning. Everybody is mute when they can when they come in, so everybody has their space. If you need to unmute, if you want to, I want to do this very interactive. So if you want to unmute, you have a question, so you want me to answer you, feel free to raise your hand. I'm going to explain to you a little bit more about this, but let me share the screen now. So we can have here I can see, I'm going to move my screen around. But here I can see the leader hands. You're going to have the reactions in your side. So inside the reactions, raise hands, and you're going to have the chat available there. But let me know. Don't be shy. Let me know where are you from? What is your name? Feel free to raise your hands. I'm gonna unmute you if you have any questions during the workshop. This is gonna be a very interesting workshop and interactive. I'm gonna be presenting some boards, some Kanban boards, some example while I'm introducing the topic of Agile inside what it is to be a VA, a new project manager, or an unofficial project manager, how I call it, right? When you are dealing with projects, but you don't have an official role, an official title as a project manager, right? It doesn't matter that you are not certified, you don't have the title within your role right now, currently, but if you're dealing with projects and you are dealing with team, with the people, with due dates, deadlines, project scope, deliverables, stakeholders, you are a project leader. And this is perfect for you because this framework, it is applicable to today's online land. So this is perfect. So let's gonna dive in. At the end, you're gonna be receiving at the end of the 3 workshops, we're gonna be receiving an email with the recording, and you're gonna be also receiving an email with to sign up to the platform where you're gonna have the resources, the recording, and also access to other materials that I'm gonna be offering here. Also, you're gonna have access to the Trello board that I prepared for the workshop presentation. So let's gonna dive in right now. Here you go, here we are. So again, welcome to Agile Project Management Essentials. This is Adalí Gracia from Pilot G7. You can find me and follow my accounts in social media under my name at Adalí Gracia Instagram, or Adalí Gracia PMP in Facebook, my business page. And also you can request access to my free community network of Simplified Project Management Network. So request access, follow me. I have weekly free trainings inside my Facebook community every Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, Miami, USA. We have free webinars, free trainings, short trainings. Also, I have a podcast, and the podcast is in the podcast I talk about leadership for women. It's a different type of topics, But leadership is very important when you are a project leader. Remember, when you are dealing with projects and managing projects, you are responsible for that, but you're also responsible for your people, because at the end of the day, they are the ones who are doing the work. So let's gonna dive in. So let's gonna start with different today agenda is gonna be divided in the different stages and the different information about what is Agile. We're going to be touching base about what is the Agile Manifesto, what is the framework, the different roles, and the how, right? How we can implement Agile in for our career, as part of our knowledge, as part of when we are working as virtual assistants or online business manager. How learning Agile, and then differentiate versus what is the typical framework of waterfall. And then you have to select the best approach for your clients, the best approach for that particular project, because every project is different. As we learned in the first workshop, Project Management Essentials, when you have a project, you're always going to have the initiation, the planning, executing the plan. Also, you're going to monitor the project, and then at the end, you're going to close the project. Every project has a beginning and has an end, right? It ends, and then you start over with another project. And it's the same with processes. It's the same if you're, for instance, you are launching a product, right? You're launching a product, and even though you're using the Agile framework mindset, or you're using what it is, the conventional waterfall methodology, you're always going to be having the initiation of the project, the planning of the project, you're going to be executing the project, and you're going to be monitoring and controlling what is the project, and at the end you close the project, right? So it's more or less that same idea, but when it comes to the Agile, we're going to be referring to what it is, a different framework. And I'm going to be giving you more pros and cons of what it is, the differences between the waterfall methodology and the Agile framework. So what is Agile? Because a lot of people I can hear in social media, in different platforms, in the internet, when you are searching how to have a successful project, right? You're gonna see the word Agile. So the Agile Alliance is this group of independent thinkers about software development. When it was originally founded, right, or when it was originally they gave the name, it was about software development. And sometimes the competitors, they agree each other on what it is, the manifesto, what they call the manifesto. The manifesto is the values and the principles and the ideas of those thinkers that they had that meeting back in the 20s and back in the 2000s, at the beginning of the 2000s, and they came up with this manifesto, which I'm going to be showing you today. The framework, right? What is the framework that people say, okay, is Agile a methodology? Is Agile a framework? Is Agile a way of thinking? Agile, it is a mindset, right? It's a mindset. People often, they think about Agile are, and the different methodologies that are inside Agile. They think that are the same. But when it comes to Agile, the agility is the mindset that you have, the mindset of how you do things. You're gonna the way of working and the continuous improvement mindset that you're always gonna have when you are in the agility environment. You're always interactive with your team. You're always, there are going to be a lot of continuous changes, improvement. You receive feedback from your customer, from your client, from the stakeholder. from the sponsor. In every iteration that you have, your mindset is about be flexible, be agile, producing value, adding value to your customer while you're adding value to the product. Also, you're adding value to your business, to your customer, to the product by itself. And also, this agility, this manifesto, when you see the document, which I'm going to be providing today, and also you're going to be access to that document inside the platform, that it has different roles. And the different roles come from the product owner, the scrum master, the development team. They mention that framework of the different roles that it has. So inside the development team or your team, you're not going to have a person which is better than the others. Every person have their expertise, is a subject matter expert, and it depends of the projects are the people that you're going to have inside your team, right? If we're talking, for instance, about a virtual assistant, you are a virtual assistant and you're launching a project, maybe part of your team is going to be the owner by itself. You are going to be part of the team as well. And also the graphic designer is going to be part of the team. And also the person who's doing the copy for a specific product is going to be part of the team, the social media manager, the marketing strategy. So all those people, they are not better than the other. Everybody have their own expertise. Everybody have to talk with each other. Everybody have, they complement each other. They are cross-functional inside the team. And that is something that you, as a virtual assistant, is depending on the roles that you're doing inside that project. If you're a product owner or you're a scrum master, you are also going to guide them and help them and coach them in their responsibilities, in the accountability, and also teaching them, right? Guiding them in the mindset of how to be agile. So I'm going to show you today what are the different, the different frameworks that I'm going to be discussing, like the Canva, the Scrum, inside Agile, and the different ways to do things here. And also I'm going to teach you and guide you on how to differentiate the waterfall methodology, which is the typical methodology that we have, versus the Agile, and how you're going to be interacting with both and which one you're going to select based on what is the best approach for your particular project. Now let's talk about the Agile Manifesto. The Agile Manifesto, when you go to the page, which I'm gonna show you here. Okay, bear with me because I'm here. Let me show you. That's my garden. It's okay here. And I can. Sorry guys, let me put here the presentation. Anyone here to look at it? Okay. You can see the screen, right? Yes. some technical problems here, but it's okay. Here is my manifesto. We're going to go. I'm gonna share with you this in the chat. Because by mistake. Okay, here you go. agilemanifesto.com. I'm gonna share with you here in the chat. Agile Manifesto. Okay. So agilemanifesto.com.org, sorry. Let me share my screen again here so we can see this. Can see this screen. Okay, so you have here the Agile Manifesto is you go to agilemanifesto.org, and here is the Agile Manifesto, right? Is when they sit down and they had this meeting and they discuss the different challenges that they were having in the software development, world on land in the 2000s. And here you can see the people who collaborate, the principals, the signature, the manifesto, let me see, and also you can use this information to translate what is the manifesto. But let me read to you a little bit about this. Is the values, right? When we're talking about what is the values that the manifesto the Agile mindset have here in the manifesto is individuals and interactions over processes and tools. And I always says this. I always says that the perfect formula is what it is, the value that you provide plus the people plus the processes equal success. And this is something very important because at the end of the day, who does the project is the people, right? So you can have the sponsor, you can have the stakeholder that are interested in that particular project, but at the end of the day, who execute the project is your people. So it doesn't matter if you're a project leader, if you're a product owner, if you're a scrum master, if you're a project manager, at the end, the team, which you are a part of the team as well, they are the one who does the project. So when it comes to the Agile mindset, you can see that the first thing is the people, the individuals and interactions over processes and tools, the working software. And if we don't want to use the word software and apply the manifesto to our work, it could be the service, the product, the launch, right? What we're doing in the content creation, right? As creators, the working software over comprehensive documentation. No, it's not just about documenting every step of the process, which is perfect to have SOP. But here, the most important thing is that it is working, right? Yes, at the end, it's great to have procedures. It's great to have standard procedures. But when it comes to the project, we really want to launch that product that we want to launch. We want to have that software working for us. So that's the most important here. That's the value. The customer collaboration over contract negotiation. Sometimes we spend a lot of time negotiating with a customer, and it's not totally wrong. They're not saying that it's wrong, right? And you can see that the things from the right are important, but while there is value in or there's value in the items that are in the right, like over processes and tool, comprehensive documentation, contract negotiation, there's value there, right? I'm not saying that it's not important, but there's value there. But the most but when it comes to the manifesto, they value more the things that are in the left, They value more the people and the interactions. They value more that the software or the product was launched, that is working, right? That we have that customer collaboration. Yes, we can spend time doing the contract, right? But sometimes as a VA or so ODM or as project managers in the online world, let's gonna say like that, in the online land, it is more important to have the contract. But sometimes, I don't know you, that happened to you too, but I can have a contract, a verbal contract, or just a contract that I negotiate with my customer just by having a Zoom call, or just by having a meeting with him, or business owner, or just by going to their place, and we agree on some things, and we have a high level agreement. This is what we're going to do, and we start working initiation of the project, and then later on we go into the details of what it is the contract. It's not that definite. It's not important what is in the right side, which is contract and negotiation, but we have to consider that it's more important to have that customer collaboration during the process. That's very important, because the more information we have ahead of time or during the process of the project, the more accurate, or the more working software or the launch is going to be more value for the business. It's going to add more value, the results for the clients. The fourth value that we have here is responding to changes. And that's the definition of Agile, right? When you are, you're flexible, you're able to change, you're able to improve, your continuous improvement. So responding to changes over following a plan. That is the main difference between what it is, the conventional waterfall methodology, which is the one that I discussed during the project management essentials, the workshop number 1, versus what it is the Agile one, the Agile mindset. Here we are responding to changes, and let me give you an example. As you may know, when it comes to softwares, sometimes we are receiving a lot of updates in our cell phone, right? That is responding to changes. It doesn't mean that maybe at the end of the month, when you receive your invoice or your bill, is when you're going to have an update, or when you have the capability to have a new phone is when you're going to receive that update. No, you're always receiving updates to different apps in your cell phone and also in your computer. The same with the Agile mindset. You're always responding to changes. If you're doing a launch, if you're doing a social media content for your clients, if you're a project manager and you're dealing with a project, you're always responding to changes. And that's the mindset. You are not going to follow a specific plan that says, okay, step 1, step 2, step 3. Yes, it's great to have a plan, but what happened that during that plan, some risks or some challenges arise? You have maybe you have one of the team members that are not going to be available because they have a certain emergency, or it could be that some risks, some challenges, some issues that don't necessarily have to be bad things, but things happen or things change, or maybe something that you're doing is obsolete and you have to improve, and you have to add something new to the project, to that specific stage that you are in that moment in your project, and you have to change. So that's why the Agile mindset is responding to changes over following a specific plan, right? So here they say that is, while there's value in the items on the right, which the items on the right you can see here is over processes and tools, over comprehensive documentation, over contract negotiations, over following a plan. There is value here. Of course it is. Of course it is, right? We value the items on the left more. We value the individuals and interactions we value the working software or the lounge or the right whatever product or services you're working right now. We value the customer collaboration. We need their feedback, right? We need them to respond as project managers. And we are responding to changes. And let me stop a little bit more here. Responding to changes, you really need to have a resilience mindset, a flexible one, because it depends of your leadership style, and it depends of the way that you see things, or the way that you're wired, your personality. Sometimes we are very focused on something. We don't adapt to changes that easily. So when it comes to the agile mindset, and that's why it says it's a mindset, right? That you are in that continuous improvement mode, and always trying to be flexible, changing. You know, it takes time. Sometimes it takes time. You have to learn a new way of working, because you say, okay, this is stage one, and these are the tasks. Priority number 1, 2, 3. But what happens, it doesn't work like that. Any challenge, any issue, something is missing. Maybe you did a review and the stakeholder, your client says, okay, I don't like it like that. Let's go back. So things like that, it takes time to digest, and it takes time to have that mindset of learning something new. So that is the Agile Manifesto. Here in agilemanifesto.org, you're gonna see the people that sign up for that. That day, the authors, the manifesto, the 12 principles of Agile software. We can go, high level over this, but you're going to have the information in the email that you're going to be receiving, and you're going to have the information in the platform. But just to give you at glance, right? Everything is around people, because people at the end, again, people at the end are the ones who does the project for you. If you're a project leader, a VA, an OBM that wants to be an expert in projects, or right now you're dealing with projects, right? You don't have specific name, a specific role. You're a project leader, you're an unofficial project leader. Here, the principles are that our highest priority is to satisfy the customer through early and continuous delivery of valuable software. And that's going to change the word software. We can change it to valuable services, valuable launches, valuable programs, courses, whatever the service you are offering as a creator in the online land. Welcome changes, requirements, even late during the project. Agile processes harness change for the customer's competitive advantage. The principle of delivering working or different iterations, pieces of the process, right, that you're doing, pieces of the launch that you're doing frequently, right, from a couple of weeks to a couple of months, with a preference to a shorter time scale. When they talk about shorter, it doesn't mean that it's not going to have testing. It doesn't mean that you're not going to have the quality inside the different stages and process that you're doing. It says that even though it can take from a couple of weeks to a couple of months, with a preference to the shorter time scale. Business people and developers, or the people in your team, must work together daily throughout the project. And that it is when the collaboration, when be cross-functional, right? When they collaborate each other, the communication, and communication can be through Zoom in today's day. Collaboration could be through text messages, through Slack, through Telegram, right? Like my customers, I communicate with them using Voxer, using Telegram, using, no, I don't use WhatsApp, but email, right? Those are collaboration that you always have with your team, and that is very important. Build projects around motivated individuals. Give them the environment and support they need and trust them to get the job done. You see, that's what I said. Agile is the type of mindset, because sometimes, depending again of your leadership style, sometimes you want to be a person who is micromanager, or you don't trust your team, or you don't give them the necessary tools to finish the project. So agility, Agile manifesto, the principle is about building projects around those people that are motivated, and give them the environment and support they need, and trust them to get the job done. So trust, resilience, flexibility, agility, the mindset, motivation. So here you have to be a little bit more a psychologist as well. The most efficient and effective method of covering information to and within development team is face-to-face conversation. And even though we proved that during pandemic, we're able to have meetings through Zoom, right? Sometimes it feels, sometimes not always, I think always it feels better when you have your camera on, when you are talking with your team face-to-face, because you can see not only what they're saying with the words, but the expression, you know, when you are in the team of 7, 9 people, you can see the ideas, the brainstorming, how they react, right? And that feeling of being connected. When you are connected with your people, with your team, but you're able to feel motivated when it comes to a project, and you're able to trust more than that person, those the people around you, to get the job done for you as a project leader that you are. Here, the most important thing is working software is the primary measure of progress. So let's gonna say when it comes to the online world, online land, right? I'm gonna be doing these references between the manifesto every time it says software to the online world, because I want to be applicable to us. Working software is the primary measure of progress. The primary measure of progress, that success, is when you launch the product, right? When you have what you said you're gonna have, and you have it, and it's running, right? Even though maybe something you did doesn't work, you are changing, you are interactive, you are adapting, right? It's gonna say that you are in the stage that you are doing a copy, right? And you're looking for a copywriter. So if something comes up and it doesn't work, okay, you are adapting. That's gonna review it, right? But you're always moving forward in the project. And every time something works, it could be that your ads for the product are working. It could be that the system that you're using, the CRM, is capturing the leads, is working. When the launch is having the leads that you at the beginning of the product of the project, you estimate that you're going to have, is working. That progress, right? That is the primary measure of success when it comes to agility. Agile processes promote sustainable development. The sponsors, the developers, and users should be able to maintain a constant pace indefinitely. So it means that you're always working together, and you're always having that constant pace. You're always having that trust. You're always having that working agreement, the accountability, doing what it is to be a team, everybody together, right? Continuous attention to technical excellence and good design enhance agility. Again, at the beginning, we said that we value the things that are in the right, but we value more the things that are in the left. One of the things that were in the right side was when you go here in the other page, sorry, are the processes and tools. So that doesn't mean that because that's in the right, the processes and tools that you're going to be using, or the processes and tools that you're going to be developing, it could be that you are working in a project with your client, when you are being part of the team, when your client is launching an app for their coaching business. Maybe they're working in a project where they're launching an app, and you are VA, you are OBM, you want to be an expert in project management. So even though you want to do it fast, even though you want to make it happen, it's very important that you pay the attention that is necessary to the good design and the quality inside the app. I'm giving you an example because I worked a few months ago with a client that she bought a software and she wanted to whitelist the software. So she wanted to do fast, right? And there were some missing points that were very important for the users, for the future customers, because she had already a market research. So those things were important for the future customers. So she really need to pay attention to that technical excellence, because if you want to do it fast and you want to launch your product, yes, but if you don't have a good design, that really can hamper the customer service and the reviews, and also your business as well, right? The revenues that you're going to be having. The other one, which is my the one that I prefer the most, is the simplicity. I always, with that word, make it simple, right? Make it simple. Explain it to me like I am a 5-year-old girl. I don't know if I should say that, because really 5-year-old kids are very so intelligent today's day. That was okay. Explain it to me if I am a little kid. Simplicity is the art of maximizing the amount of work not done, and it is essential, right? Simplicity, it is essential. Don't make it harder, right? I have been crossing a lot of project management tools today's day that just to set up the tool is so difficult. I said, why my project management tool needs to be more complicated than the project by itself? It doesn't make any sense for me. I want a project to be agile. I want a project to have the documentation, the people, to be self-organized, to have them, the communication, to work with them in the motivation, and then you're going to complicate what it is, the project management system, right? Oh my God. So here, sorry about that. Okay. So here, the best requirements and designs emerge from self-organizing teams. That's what communication, the face-to-face communication, is very important, because if you have a self-organized team, you can have a discussion with them, the different roles they're going to have, we're going to discuss them. But when they're self-organized to say, okay, I am subject matter expert in this particular skills, and that they self-organize themselves, what they're going to be doing, how they're going to be doing it, when they're going to be doing the different priorities, depending on the value that you want for your customer for that particular product and project. So they work the best. They're more motivated because they feel that the project is they're accountable for that project. At regular intervals, the team reflects on how to become more effective, then tunes and adjusts its behavior accordingly. And that comes down to the continuous improvement mindset that I have in this in my presentation, that you always need to have when it comes to agility, right? So that's the Agile Manifesto. You can access the Agile Manifesto just by going to what it is, the agilemanifesto.org, and then you're going to see the different principles that they have and how they started all this tremendous revolution of what it is, the software development manifesto, the values that they have. So you can go there and read more about it. So, okay, so let's gonna type in here, stop sharing, and let's go to the presentation again. There you go. You can see here. Okay, so next, there are two basic type of what it is the most popular methods of managing projects. In the workshop number 1, we already touched base about what is the waterfall, and today I'm going to be talking about what it is the Agile project management. The waterfall is the first one. That's the one that we already discussed in the first workshop. It can also be called the traditional method, and Agile project management is going to be the second one, which is the one that we're discussing today. The specific today, as I mentioned in the manifesto, was originated back in the 2020s to 2000s, and is typically implemented with the methodology that we have inside the Agile mindset of the Scrum and Canva that I'm going to be I'm going to explain today. The Agile versus the waterfall, that's always the discussion, right? The waterfall is another word for the traditional project management, which again, just to give you a little bit of brief of what we discussed. Initiation, we have different process groups. We initiate the project, we plan the project, and then we execute the project, and then we close we monitor and control the project, the status reports, how everybody's doing, and then we have the closure of the project. So that is the traditional or the waterfall, right? Waterfall and Agile are the most popular development approaches today, and according to surveys, 71% of companies choose the Agile framework or mindset, while waterfall is implemented by 51% of the organizations. And in today's also in the online world, you can see a lot of companies that are using Agile methodology or Agile framework or Agile mindset when it comes to marketing. The question since the beginning, I told you, the question is not about what approach you're going to be using, right? But which one works most effectively for your team, for the project, right? You have simple projects that you can use, that your simple projects that when you're doing initiation and the planning, you figure out this is something simple. I have a small team. This is something simple that I can do in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. You can work in an Agile way, right? Where it's something so complicated and it has different steps. There are some times that you're going to be using the waterfall, and there's some times that you're going to mix it over, which is the hybrid methodology, or the Agile framework, the hybrid methodology. We're going to be talking about the cons and pros today. The Agile framework is an approach for getting the work done through the collaboration and the self-organizing teams and the cross-functional teams that you are having when you encourage flexible responses to changes. What it is a self-organizing team, right? And what it is a cross-functional team. That is something that I really want to stop here and and having some type of explanation about that. I have here my notes. When it comes to what it is, this type of, when you are planning your project and you figure out, okay, this is the project that I'm doing, and this is the approach that I'm going to be doing, taking something hybrid or something very agile, that moving in a lot of different parts inside a project, or something very linear. That is that traditional framework of what is that one that we discussed before. A self-organizing team is they respond to the assignment and they track their own work and process. You don't have to be on top of that people, right? They're already self-organized. They know what they're gonna need to do. They know the user stories. They knew the tasks. They already discussed it. you don't need to spend extra resources or extra time to hire a specific manager, just to assign and delegate the different tasks or manage the deadlines or check the statuses and fill out timesheets, right? You don't need that because they're already self-organized. They know what they need to do. You between them, they already have the discussion, have maybe a project management system in place, and they organize themselves. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. You have a person which is the product owner, which is gonna be prioritizing the work, adding value to the different tasks, the different users, the different stories or tasks. Let's gonna say that let's gonna call it like that. That we have to do, and you don't have an extra person that is going to tell them what to do. They already know their expertise, they have their skills, and they jump in and they say, okay, I'm going to do this task. We're going to be doing maybe by in one sprint, which sometimes equals 1 week or 2 weeks. A sprint can be the work that you're going to be doing in 1 week or 2 weeks. That is something they're going to establish since the beginning of the project. What the definition for me as a team of a sprint? It could be 1 week or it could be 2 weeks, right? So you don't have to have a person that is constantly telling them and filling out worksheet or timesheets, because they already know what are the expertise, what you have to do. And if they have questions, they just can go to the product owner or the scrum master, the different roles that I'm going to be discussing, and they can help them to figure out what to do during the process of the project. Going back to the presentation here is, now you know what is self-organizing team. You have that in mind, right? You don't have to be on top of that people telling them exactly what to do, the timesheet, because they already know they're responsible. There are people that are responsible with their jobs, with what they have to do. They're talking with each other. They can have face-to-face collaboration, or they can always be talking about the project, how everything is going, what it is in process, what is delayed because certain challenges, but you don't have to be on top of them, right? That is self-organizing. When it comes to cross-functional teams, right? Is people that they have different skills and they have different expertise. They're expert in a certain skills, but they also have the knowledge of other skills. And when they got together, they are self-organized. They say, okay, this is my expertise. I'm going to be working on that. We're going to be working in this stage of the project. We're going to be having this ready by this date. We're going to be reviewing constantly. We're going to be having conversations, changes if needed, but they're also cross-functionals. So if I know a little bit about copy, for instance, let's gonna talk about copy, and you're doing a copy, maybe I can help you out. If I know a little bit about branding and you're doing the colors for a specific website and you're doing some coding, maybe I can help you out because I have the knowledge of that particular skills that maybe you're an expert, but we are working in a collaborative effort, and we are self-organized, we're cross-functionals, that even though that is not my expertise, I can help you out. And that's when the agility comes in, right? Because we're able to make the work done faster, right? In a short period of time. The Agile methodology has multiple frameworks. And here I'm giving you a glance on what it is the Agile mindset based on the manifesto, but also inside the Agile, we have different frameworks. One is the Scrum, the Kanban. Also, we have the Sprint programming, and we have much more, right? That we're not going to focus today. So then I want to focus on what it is, the Scrum and the Kanban. So the Scrum is an Agile framework It's not a process. It's not a process, not a technique, or it's definitive method. Instead, it is an outline to refer to while employing various processes and techniques. So I know that it's not a process, it's not a technique, it's an outline to refer to. So when you go to, I'm gonna post that in the chat as well. The Scrum Guide, you have it here, scrumguides.org. There are translated and a bunch of different languages. So I'm gonna put it here. The Scrum Guide. Then I'm gonna, okay, scrumguides.org. I'm gonna post it in the chat here. Okay. There you go, the chat. Scrumguides.org. I'm gonna be sending you that resource as well. And let me share with you how it looks because I want you to see it here, how the guide looks, so you can have an understanding of what I'm talking now. There you go. So this is a scrumguide.org. Here, it guides you where to read about these are the creators, the bio, and you can go here and read online. The 2020 Scrum Guide, the definition, the theory, the transparency, inspection, adaptation, the values, the team, everything that you can imagine here is, as I say, it's an outline that you can refer to. And here you get able to download the PDF. And also here you can download the official Scrum Guide in over 30 different languages. So you don't have an excuse. You don't have an excuse to download the outlines of what it is, the Agile, the Scrum processes and the Scrum techniques, right? The different various processes and techniques that are outlined here in the Scrum Guide. So you can have it here. So going back to the presentation, Scrum is is part of the Agile mindset, Agile framework, and is various processes and techniques that are outlined in that Scrum Guide. In the other hand, what is Kanban? I know that you heard about Kanban and the different columns that you can see in the different project management systems as ClickUp, Asana. Sometimes the Kanban is the board that they have as default, right? The default one. And Trello as well. The free version of Trello, it is in the Kanban board. Here is very visual, and we know that when it comes to Canva, it's something that is very visual and it utilizes a unique tool, right? This is the Kanban board. It could be physically, it could be digital, and it consists of several columns, which normally are the backlog, in progress, things to do, the work, done, right? Depends of the project, depends of their team, depends of the company, are the different names that you're gonna be identify those columns. But basically it's things that I have to do with the backlog or the sprint backlog for that particular sprint, what I'm working right now, what is done. So the different tasks are going to be moving from column to column, and they clearly indicating the project's process. I'm going to show you a Kanban board in a minute, but I'm going to do it right now. Let's gonna open my Kanban board, an example that I did here. I'm going to be working on one. I'm going to be showing you how it looks, but let me share this with you, my Kanban board. Kanban. Okay. Mhm. Share. And here it is, the Kanban example. When you go here, you're gonna see, normally I put this, read first. This is an example. The backlog, the different sprints, the things that I need to do, the things that I'm doing it right now, and the things that are done. In my case, I have an add-on here it's an extension in Chrome that I added here list layouts for Trello and list highlighter in Trello, which counts me the different tasks that I have in that specific list and highlight the things that I really want to highlight. I like to highlight what is the done, what is the column of doing column, and what is the column that I need to do in pink, right? So I have it there. So that is, it is an example of what it is a Canva. You can see the backlog. You can see here the different sprints that I'm working, the what I need to do, the things that I'm doing, and here it is the done things that I have here, right? And this it is another one which is this is not let me see here. Oh, there it is. There's another one that I want to show you, which is the Agile board using the Kanban methodology. Is the sprint that I'm working right now. The things are in progress. This is another section that we can use on hold. Things are on hold. Everything that is on hold, whoop, you're gonna put it there. Okay, everything that is here in the sprint and you're working with, yeah, in progress, you put it here as well. Okay, so and the things are done and here I put this column which is next up, right? And marketing ideas. You can put a lot of things there if you want to, but basically are the basic columns that you're going to be having are things that I have to work in the backlog, things that I need to work in the sprint, and things that I'm doing, things that are on hold, and things that are done. So let's gonna again to the presentation. Here is the different roles that are inside that are outlined in the Scrum guide that I just showed you. One of the main right the main thing that you're going to be seeing here when it comes to the Scrum methodology or processes, right? The different outlines that they have, the recommendations, if they have three basic roles. And none of them is a project manager because as I mentioned, the team is self-organized and cross-functional. So we have, they are not job titles, even though if you're planning to transition to the corporate world or a private company, of course, if you're looking for a job, the positions are gonna be named as product owner, the scrum master, and the different type of roles that are inside specific projects if you are part of the team. So they aren't job titles. This means that any job title, even your existing one, can perform one of the roles. And that's what it means. Right now, you can be a VA and you can be a product owner. You are in charge of producing value for that particular product that you are developing. You can be an OBM, but you're working as a Scrum Master. You are the one who is evangelism, what it is, the Agile framework, right? To explaining to the rest of the team how it's going to be the new way of working. Because of the essence of Scrum, which is so organizing, it's continuous improvement, The three roles give a minimum definition of responsibilities and accountability to allow teams to deliver the work effectively. So even though the guide has some responsibilities inside each of the role that outline inside the Scrum guide, really what they want, the principle, the value is that we as a team, we collaborate and we self-organize. The skills that I have that maybe I'm an expert, maybe I can help you out in what you're doing right now inside the project. So this is going to help the team to take responsibility on how they organize and to keep improving themselves, right? But it could be that right now I'm a business owner, but I can learn a little bit. Maybe my expertise is a project manager, but that doesn't mean that I don't know about other topics. Inside project management, maybe I can help you out, or I have some experience when it comes to graphic designing, or I have some experience when it comes to website development, or I have some experience when it comes to a specific CRM system that I can help you out inside that particular task that you are doing as an expert. And that's why at the beginning of my business, when I started my business, I did everything by myself. I did my own website, my own CRM system. I set up all the tools and systems because I really want to understand and be able to help when I was part of the project or when I'm leading a project with my team. If we are doing and developing a website, even though I'm not a graphic designer, I'm not a website designer, right, or developing, I'm able to understand the words, the terminology, and the different meanings of the words that they use for the processes and for the specific task that they are doing at that time. So that it is the beauty of being in the Scrum team or Agile mindset, that even though you can have the title, it's going to say like that of a project manager, Scrum master, or a product owner, you are able to work with the team and help them in the different tasks that you're doing inside the project, right? You are able to self-organize, to cross-functional, to complete the work, right? You really, what you want to do, remember the manifesto. You want to be able to have something that it works, right? Sorry. That's the beauty of having this type of mindset of agility, right? But I'm gonna dive in different responsibilities that the Scrum guide give us inside the outline that they have. Excuse me, sorry. Okay, next. So let's gonna touch a little bit maybe at glance here different roles that they have. Here, this is a good graphic of what is what position, what role are you playing right now inside a project. Let's gonna talk about a specific project. Let's gonna say you have a project of doing a market research for a specific product that you want to launch, right? As a project manager, or maybe as a small business owner that you are right now, you, or as a project owner that you're going to be an expert, a project leader, that's the role that you want to be playing right now. As a project manager, your role is to create a strategic plan, to manage the project backlog, to prioritize the project that you have in place, right? And to assign and schedule the projects. Let's gonna say that you want to be an expert in projects and you want to be an online business project manager, or you want to transition to be an OBM with expertise in projects. That your role right now is gonna be just to create a strategic plan. You're gonna be part of the team, of course. You're gonna be managing the project backlog, the different tasks that you're gonna be doing and creating. You're gonna prioritize the different projects for your clients. Maybe they want to have a launch. Maybe they have to review their website. Maybe they want to do again the email marketing. Maybe they want to set up the CRM systems, right? But you are the one who is going to prioritize those projects, and you can do it with your client, because here collaboration with your clients and with the business owner is very important. You are the one who's going to assign and schedule the projects. When it comes to the Scrum roles, Scrum team, right? You have the product owner, you have the team, and you have the Scrum Master. Here, the mindset is you have one project, right? It's a small team, 3 to 9 members. That's what the Scrum guide recommends to be an Agile team, because we're talking about agility. We're talking about talking with each other. We're talking to have Zoom calls. We're talking to have face-to-face conversations if you are in the corporate world. You're gonna have a big team. It's gonna be more difficult, right? They're team-oriented. They're responsible. They're committed. They're self-organized. They're cross-functional. They'll be talking to each other every day during the stand-up meetings, right? So you must have a small team, and it makes sense, and it's part of the guide when they are outlining the different features of what it is a Scrum framework. The first one is the Scrum roles is the product owner, and we also have the Scrum Master, and we have the team, right? The team by itself, which you are part of the team as well. When it comes to the product owner, I'm owning that product, right? I'm owning that specific product. I'm managing what is the backlog, the things that we have to do, the backlog. And you have, you're gonna have dictionary inside the Turtle board that I'm gonna be sending it to you. You're gonna prioritize those tasks that your team are doing, right? Depends on what the client needs right away. And depends of the different due dates that you're gonna have, because you can say, okay, I'm working on the Black Friday launch or a Black Friday content creation, and it means that you have to prioritize the different tasks that you are going to do based on the due date that you want to have that content creation. You want to have the website. You want to have the product before the Black Friday, right? So it means that if you are working on a project related to Black Friday, you can't start on November. You have to start in October and even September, right? Because that is something that you have to understand and know what is the end goal in order to prioritize that specific project and know how to work on that. So you are the one as a Scrum role, as a product owner, who are going to be the liaison between the end user and the product team. So the end user is, in this case, your client, and they want to have everything launched before the Black Friday. So you have your backend team who are self-organized and cross-functional, and you tell them, okay, we have to work. The different tasks are content creation, the copy, the creation of the graphics, the colors. There's going to be reviewing that, how many we need, when are we going to upload the information, when are we going to post it, the calendar, all those things, right? And the user stories, how your client, they want that and they want to see it. And you are the one who needs to help prioritize that backlog based on the end goal of that particular project, right? So the product owner has the final say to, okay, go or no go, right? You are the one who set the schedule, the backlog, ensure that everything is aligned with the goal that you're here in what it is, an example that I was telling you about the Black Friday. The end goal is to have everything before Black Friday because we are launching our products. The other role is the Scrum Master. The Scrum Master is the one who serves the team. And sometimes in the online world, it could be that you're gonna do, you're gonna have, maybe you're a VA and you are the assistant of your client, of your CEO, and you're doing the role maybe as a project leader. And hopefully no, but sometimes it happens a lot. People don't see the value of what it is a project manager. So that's why you're taking this course, because with the expertise what you're going to be taking, you're going to be able to be more secure and confident when you talk with your future clients and telling them, hey, and when I'm going to be a lead in your project, I'm going to be a servant leader for your team, but I'm the one who's managing the product backlog. I'm the one, and the team leader for them. And I'm the one who is leading with the different statuses every day, the different meetings that they recommend inside the Scrum methodology. And one of the meetings is the daily stand up. It's when you stand up and you have the conversation for 15 minutes with your team, and you ask them 3 questions. And that way you know how they're doing. That way you know if they need help from you as a Scrum Master, because you are a servant leader. You are helping them to remove the impediments and the challenges that they're having during the different stages of the products or the project, or whatever assignment they're working right now in that moment. So if they have an impediment, if they have a question maybe for the owner, if they have the question for the customer, so you are the one who is keeping records up to date and who is reporting to the management, reporting to your client the needs that they have, right? Here, and also you are the one who help them be focused on what they need to be focused, right? Every time. Third role is the team. The team is by itself. The team is it could be marketers, it could be CRM experts, it could be the one who is working and setting up the pickup, right, for you, because you are the project manager, they are the one who are doing the work. They are the one who breaks down the task, that the big task, let's say like that, the big task that you're telling that you know that you have to do, because you already have the goal, you have the vision, you have the product backlog, but they are the one who breaking down the task. But because they're the experts, they know that, let's gonna say I'm doing this for Black Friday, they are the ones who knows how to do the graphic, what are the colors, the codes, where are they doing the different graphic designing. They are the ones with the skills to be competitive. They are the ones who are testing the work, if it's working, right? If it's somebody that is doing the ads for you and you're working with them, they are the ones who are setting up the audiences, who are setting up the different uploading the graphics, uploading the copy, and they're the ones who maybe are going to tell you as part of the planning, hey, in order to do the setup of the Facebook ads, you must have the graphics. And the graphics should be like this. We have to outline which one are going to be the different audiences. So those people that are consultants for you are the one who has the skills to be competitive inside the team, right? Even when they have the skills, the expertise, remember, here in Agile, in Scrum, everything's about having the mindset of having a team that is self-organized, team that are very oriented, responsible, committed, and they are cross-functional. That maybe I'm not an expert in doing graphic designer or copy, but at least when I see something that you're doing, I'm able to say, hey, the main goal or the main vision of this project, based on the conversation with the product owner, is this one. So I know for sure that I was part of the project, and maybe that color is not the best one for Facebook ads, or maybe this button needs to be here, things like that you are not an expert, but if you have certain expertise or certain skill from previous jobs, previous projects, you are able to be a cross-functional with your team and be able to express and give some type of feedback that add value to the team. As I said before, the product owner is the one who have the more conversation with the stakeholder or with the client, right? The product owner will have to work to effectively ensure that the team is delivering value. He is or she is the one who sets clear directions. Sometimes people confuse in Agile with the traditional framework, a product owner for what it is a project leader, right? And in an online land, the product owner is the word say it is he owns the product. He's the one responsible with the team of of that specific project, right? And he has different responsibilities when it comes to inside the team. So he's the one who set the clear direction, and he's the one responsible to prioritize the work. Because let's gonna say that we, again, the example of the Black Friday content creation, right? We have the Black Friday content creation. If we know that we have to work on the copy, on the graphic, the Facebook ads, and it has to be by certain day, the Facebook ads running, inside the Facebook ads, already the audiences needs to, somebody needs to be working with the audiences, another person with the graphics, another person with testing how it looks, the graphics, the colors, the branding, another person with the copy. So it means that this product owner must have that sense of going to their team, asking their expertise, planning the project with them, planning different sprints, and asking them, okay, what is the first step that we need to do? And based on that, we have to prioritize the work in order to have, in order to accomplish having that product launch before Black Friday. He's the one who is managing the product backlog, and he's the one who's releasing information to the clients or their business owner. And he's the main responsible, he's going to be the face with the management, the stakeholder with the client. And he's going to be responsible to ensure that they are delivering the most value, and the business is represented by the product owner who tells the development what is important to deliver. If we translate that to the online world, the product owner is the one who is representing the client, who is representing the owner of the business, right? Because the owner of the business, maybe they have a goal, they have an idea of what they want. So we must follow that vision about the goal that they want for the project. So this product owner, this role is the one who is going to be representing the business or the client or the owner of the small business that we're working with. The other role is the Scrum Master. At the beginning, I mentioned that it helps the team perform at their highest level. And sometimes he's the one who's going to take the copy, so you feel more, you feel more comfortable. Yeah, he's going to maybe bring the fun. He's going to be the one who's removing impediments. And they fully understand what are the different principles that are outlined in the Scrum Guide, and they can effectively apply them in real world situations. They also ensure that the goals and the scope of the projects are clearly understood and work to remove any impediments to progress. Let's gonna say that you have an impediment, that one of the team members are not responding to your messages to another team member. The Scrum Master is the one who is going to be contact the other team member, who's going to be, trying to remove that impediment, doing those extra, going those extra miles, those extra steps to try to remove any blockers that are in the middle. And he's the one who is transparent. He's the one who is protecting the team. It's not the product owner. He is the one who is the servant leader. He's protecting the team that they have everything that they need to deliver the most effective value, and also they manage the backlog. They help also the team to plan the work with them, and the most effective iteration during the process of the project. He's the one who served the team. They help the team, the Scrum Master, to be self-organized and to focus on the outcome, on the final outcome, right? and get the job done and manage any blockers that they have. It could be a call that somebody's not answering. It could be a graphic designer that is not answering your messages when you are messaging them when you're using whatever project management tool you're using, right? And they help if you are in the corporate world, they are the one who's going to be helping to understand what is Scrum and Agile, what they are, and create and support an Agile environment within the organization. And even though I mentioned corporate, it could be, a small business, doesn't matter. The team, right? You are part of the team as well. And as I mentioned in the Scrum Guide, they recommend no more than 3 to 9 people. You can have the Scrum team and add the people at the end who is doing the work. Remember, you produce value to your clients. You have the people. You add the processes and tools. What you have? Success. Exactly. According to the Scrum Guide, the team can be you can have different people that are, you can have designers, you can have writers, programmers, and you can have marketing people. But there should be people that are responsible, professionals, committed to the team, to the works that needs to be done, that self-organized to make decisions to get the work done. And they're going to be delivering the work through different sprints. Remember, the sprint, it could be, normally you see a sprint is 2 weeks of work. So at the end of those 2 weeks, whatever they said that are committed to do, they do it, they make the work done. And with the help of Scrum Master, who is going to be removing any blockers, any impediments, and with the help of the product owner, which is the role that is going to giving them any type of feedback from the client, right? They ensure, to ensure the transparency during the sprint, they meet daily at the daily Scrum. Sometimes we call it the stand-up meeting, right? And we're going to be discussing a little bit more about that. How are we going to work in this type of environment of what it is, Agile, Scrum, Kanban? We have here the how, right? The how is we have this product backlog. It means all the tasks, all the things that you can imagine that you're going to be doing in that project. Here in the product backlog, we're going to be discussing what is the scope, what is the final vision, the goal that we have for that project. And we have the product backlog, all the things that you have to do for that product, all the things that you have to do for that launch, all the things that you have to do for launching the content creation for the Black Friday example, right? And then you're going to be planning what is your next sprint, your next two weeks of work, or it could be the next week of work, right? You're going to have that meeting. You're going to sit down with your team, and you're going to plan your work for the next sprint. It could be, again, the sprint, it could be 1 to 4 week sprint. And remember the manifesto, the shorter, the better, right? We have communication, we are self-organized, we are cross-functional. So it means that we are able to do the work in that time frame that we agree that we're going to be doing it. So we have the meeting here, we have the different tasks, the user stories that we're going to be working during that 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever it is, it has to be consistent. Every day we're going to be having a conversation of 3 questions, every day for 15 minutes. Every day as a self-organized, cross-functional team, we're going to be working, hey, yesterday I worked on this specific task from the sprint backlog. Right now it is on hold because I'm waiting maybe for the graphic designer. Maybe I'm waiting for the product owner to give me some type of feedback. Maybe I'm waiting for the client to give me some type of feedback to see if they liked it. And today I'm working this specific task from the sprint backlog, and I'm planning to do certain things, for instance, right? And then at the end of the sprint, we have something that we can provide to our customer. It could be that we have the graphics already. We have the content already. We have the copy already. And then we present that information to our client. They review it, they like it or not, they give me the feedback. Then we meet at the end of those, we meet at the end of the week, or we meet at the end of those 2 weeks, and we discuss what we did right, what didn't work, and what we can do better. And then we start over again. We take the things that are here in the backlog. We plan our work for the next week or for the next 2 weeks, for the next sprint. We meet every day for 15 minutes. We have something that we can present to our client. Our client review it. They provide the feedback. We sit down. We talk as a team how we did right, what we can improve for the next one, and we start over again. That is the framework of how we're going to be working if we are an Agile Scrum team. The sprint cycles are the sprint plan, different sprint cycles. The sprint planning is the different iterations that we're going to be working with. We're going to break down big tasks, right? Or complex projects into bite-sized pieces. Going back to the Black Friday promotion or marketing strategy. If you have a big strategy that's coming on November, at the end of November, you're gonna do your product, your backlog, your review, and you want to break it down in different pieces, chunk of pieces, right? And those iterations are called sprints. At the beginning of each, when you're starting a project, you decide with your team how you're going to be working in your sprints. It could be 1 week sprint. It could be 2 week sprint. I could say 2 weeks is the more generic number that you see outside, right? At the beginning, it's going to be a little bit difficult. When your team is going to be, okay, we're working in a sprint. It means that I have to provide some type of value, something that is working, something that is complete at the end of the week or at the end of the 2 weeks, right? And we're going to be meeting every day for 15 minutes to see how everything is going. It doesn't mean that I have to be every day maybe talking about the project, but every day we have to be able to cooperate. We have to be able to be self-organized, and we have to be able to be responsible and committed with the project and work in the project. And those are the different meetings that you have to conduct every day. The iterations, the sprint is a Scrum term, and it's usually a phrase used by Scrum teams. Sprint is a short time box period when a Scrum team works to complete a set amount of work. With a Scrum, a product is built in a series of iterations called sprints that break down big, complex works into bite-sizes of pieces. So you have something big that you have to do, but you break it down in small pieces that you're able to work a little bit every day. So at the end of the sprint, normally is less than 30 days, and typically is 2 weeks. At the end of those 2 weeks, you have something that is complete, that you can use, that you can provide to your client. They can review it, and they can accept it. That's something that is done. The key characteristic of the sprint is that it's time boxed. It's a technique for limiting the amount of work in process. And this is great because it avoids unnecessary perfectionism. It's short and it's consistent with the duration. The important thing is that when you're doing your planning at the beginning of the sprint, to understand that everybody have the same understanding on what is the definition of done. What is to be something done, right? When you said, okay, the graphics are done, it means that they have the colors, it have the branding colors, it have the whatever picture that you want or elements that you want to have in your graphics, or it means that it has the graphic plus the pictures plus the stock picture plus it has the copy that you want to have in your graphic. What is the definition of done for that particular task that you're doing in that sprint? The sprint is always time box, right? 1 week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, whatever it is, you have to identify what is going to be the timing at the beginning of the planning. Very important. It's not that, and it has to be short and consistent. It's not that maybe for me as a graphic designer, it's going to be a sprint of 2 weeks, or maybe for me as if we're doing a website, I am a website developer. For me, it's going to be 4 weeks. No, it doesn't happen like that. We have a set of things that we have to do. We have a set of tasks that we have to do. We break it down in short and consistent durations. We are committed to make it work at the end of the 2 weeks. Whatever task we decided we're going to be working with, or the product owner decided that we're going to be working with, and that specific task needs to add value to whatever project we're doing. Okay, because you must have something that is working at the end of those 2 weeks. If it is a website design, at the end of the 2 weeks, you must have, for instance, your hosting, your domain, set up the domains, set up the different DNS, set up whatever needs to be set up, and at least I'm gonna be having that. I'm gonna be selecting the theme at the end of 2 weeks. I'm testing that at least the hosting is working, the domain is working, and the DNS is working, and everything is set up, and I have the feature for the security. At least in 2 weeks, I compromise since the beginning of my sprint that is going to be done. And the definition of done, what it is. The cycle is you start the planning, right? You start the planning. You use the sprint planning meeting. You know how the chosen work, whatever the task you decided to be working with, this is is gonna be done, right? How you're gonna be working with that, right? So the product owner, one of the roles that we discussed already is he discussed what is going to be the objective of this upcoming sprint, and he also outlined the product backlog items that needs to be completed in order to achieve that specific sprint. Again, the sprint, it could be 1 week, 2 weeks, or 3 weeks. But the team should be able to answer what work can get done in the sprint and how will the chosen work to get done. That's very important. We have a list of things that we have to do, but what we are focusing on doing this upcoming sprint, this upcoming 2 weeks, what we're going to be doing, and we have to be committed to do it. Then the step number 3 is that you're going to be executed the different iterations that you're going to be having. You're going to create, as a team, you create a plan, you create the different tasks, the sprint backlog items, and you are aware and everybody agrees on what is the definition of done. For me, if I'm going to be working as a graphic designer, for me, the definition of done is having the branding colors, the coding, the wording, review the copy, reviewing the graphics, the pictures I'm going to have in there. If I have all that together at the end of the sprint, for me, it means that it's done. And it's not only for me as a graphic designer, for the person who is doing the copy for me, he knows that in order for me to have the graphic done, he has to provide me with a copy, right? So during the sprint, the team checks in during the daily scrums or stand-up meetings, and the daily scrum or stand-up meetings. I'm going to explain to you what it entails during, inside those time boxes meeting, because everything is time boxed inside Agile and Scrum. After a meeting, I'm going to demonstrate everything that I did to my customer or to the product owner, and that is going to be a sprint review. We review everything that we did. Everything's supposed to be working, everything is done based on our own agreement on what is done. And then we sit down, we identify, we have the sprint retrospective is when I have that opportunity to identify the areas of improvement for my next 2 weeks, for my next sprint. Then when you finish that cycle, then you start over again. So let's gonna see this graphic here. We have the product backlogs, which are the things that you're gonna be doing inside that project. You have the vision, you have the goal, what you want to accomplish, by when you want to accomplish that. Specifically, if it's for the same example as I'm giving you since the beginning, the Black Friday content creation, you know that that is going to have to be done by November. So you have all the product backlog, you have my goal, you have the vision, you have the product that you want to create, and you start planning that, you know, what is the project, the result, the value for my customer. And then I sit down and I have my sprint planning, my plan for the next 1 week, my plan for the next 2 weeks, or my plan for the next 3 weeks, whatever I decided where it's going to be the time box, the time frame from my sprints. Then I have the sprint backlog, the specific tasks that I'm going to be doing during those 2 weeks. And every day for 15 weeks, for 15 minutes, I'm going to have the daily scrum or the stand-up meeting where I'm going to check in with the rest of my team members, how they're doing. If what they were working yesterday, if they were able to finish, if they have something on hold that I can help them out, if what they're going to be working today, and what are the plans for tomorrow. Then at the end, when I have the demo, when I have the things that I work with during that sprint, during that 2 weeks of sprint, I review it with my client, and then after I review it, they accept it, they like it, everything is done. Then I sit down with my team of 3 people, 4 people, 5 people, whatever the number it is, less than 9 people, remember. Then we sit down and we go over the sprint retrospective. What we did well, what we can do better for next time, what we can do better and plan better for the next time. And we start over the sprint cycle again. The do's and don'ts. Make sure the team set and understand the sprint goal and how success will be measured. Very important. Oh my God. How many teams I have seen that they don't know what is the goal of that specific sprint? What is the goal of those specific 2 weeks? What is the main goal, right? My vision of those two weeks, right? That we're gonna be working on the sprint. The backlog. Try to be very consistent with the priorities, the dependencies in each other. If I need to do a graphic to upload to Facebook ads, it means that I need my graphic designer to have all the components that he needs to do the graphics with the colors of the branding. I need the copywriter to be able to get the message that I want to put outside. And they have to work together in order to ensure that they have a good understanding and be in the same page, right? So in order to do that, you have to capture all the information during this stage, during the sprint planning. And every day, because you're having a short meeting, the daily scrum or the daily stand-up of 15 minutes, it means that you're able to clear up any questions, any challenges, remove any impediments, any blockers that you have. You are able to remove it because you're working every day. Of course, you can use different collaboration tools as Asana, Jira, Miro, ClickUp, Trello, whatever it is. But every day you have to, or even Telegram, it's a small, it's only you and your VA, or you or your OBM, whatever the case it is. So you have to be able to have that conversation for 15 minutes or less every day, answering those 3 questions and be able to move forward. Don't pull out too many task or user story and overestimate all the tasks that you can do in that specific sprint. Very important. When it comes here is make sure to budget time for quality assurance and non-feature work like bugs and engineer help. This is very important because sometimes we say, okay, we're going to be working the graphics, the designing, the colors, the copy. Well, we don't have time, the landing pages, whatever the situation it is, the project, right? If it is a software development, what we don't count, we accounted for what it is, the QA. We cannot leave QA at the end. We have to be testing and we have to have quality control inside each step that you're following during the creation of your product. Your product, when it comes to this sprint review that you're presenting the demo to your client, it has to be ready, it has to be done. It has to be ready to deliver, to be something that you can use, right? So you have to nail down those objectives and tasks, and and it's not only to moving fast to the next stage that you're going too fast, right? That you forgot about including QA in your processes. So everybody needs to be in the same place, in the same direction, right? When it comes to the sprint cycle, you have your big backlog, all the tasks that you have to do. You plan the task for the next 1 week or 2 weeks, your next sprint. You have your sprint backlog. From the sprint backlog, your team is self-organized and cross-functional, and they're going to be working on those specific tasks. They already know the vision and the goal for that specific sprint. They are talking to each other every day for 15 minutes plus the time box. When they have everything that is done, and then the demo, they present it to the client, to the stakeholder, and then they sit down for another time box period, and they discuss what they did and what they didn't do, right? And they start over again. In the Agile environment, it's very important. Perfectionism sometimes is not a friendly word because it doesn't help you, right? Because here you want something that has quality, it is working, but you're able to adapt at the same time. So don't be afraid to leave some work of that work for the next sprint. If it is something that you were not able, because maybe you need some experts that you don't have the expertise maybe in the group and you have to go outside and you say, okay, I have these impediments, and you're working with the Scrum Master and you say, okay, I have this impediment, I have to do something about it. And you're trying to remove the blockers, you try to remove whatever's in the middle. Like, let me give you an example of what happened to me 3 weeks ago. I was trying to launch a product, and in the middle of the product, my website, even though it has security, extra security that I pay, it was compromised. It start indexing, and the index is what pointing out to a different DNS, and my website was completely translated into Japanese. So imagine that I was in the middle of my sprint. I was doing something for my product. I was something that my goal for that sprint was very specific, and I needed to adapt. So there's some things from my sprint backlog that I wasn't able to finish because my website was compromised. So in my sprint retrospective, I took that in consideration for my next sprint cycle. And that was a lesson to learn for me, right? I learned that I have to have a separate domain and a separate systems to do certain things that I want to do in my business. Because if that is compromised again, then I'm going to be having delays over and over. And that is not the mindset of having a Scrum framework in your workplace, in your team, because you have to be able to continuous improvement and recalibrate, right? And address the issues when it needs to be done. So again, we have the product backlog again. We're gonna be planning our next 2 weeks, our next sprint. We're gonna have a certain set of tasks that we're gonna be doing it. We have to agree on the time that we're gonna be always doing that work, executing the plan, which is your sprint. It could be 1, maximum 4 weeks, 30 days. Every day we're gonna be meeting for 15 days on your daily scrum or your stand-up meeting. At the end of that sprint, your team from the beginning needs to be accountable, responsible, motivated to provide the value with whatever the set they're gonna be doing. We sit down with our customer, with my client, with my small business owner. We review whatever we did, and then we sit down as a team and we figure out what we do well and what we can do better. The product backlog is something that you're always trying to refine and update. It's like it's like a to-do list that you have to do, and you brainstorm with your team the things that you have to do in doing that particular project. And you have certain meetings, as I mentioned before. You have the meeting when you initiate the project, you plan the project, you have the focus, you have the goals of the project, and before you're starting the weeks, you are planning the next sprint or the next 2 weeks of work with your team, right? You have the review, which is the demo with your customer, and you have the meetings with your teams. You have the sprint planning, the daily stand-up or the daily scrum. You have the iterations, which is you present the demo with your clients, and you have the retrospective. The sprint planning is when the team decide what they're going to be working during the time box of the next 2 weeks. The daily status meeting or the daily scrum meetings, right? The highlight is to promote quick decisions. It could be that you have a problem with something that you're working with, and you say, this week I'm working with this copy, but I don't get the message that the client wants to get out to the world, and I'm having this this issue. I really need some help, some feedback, some brainstorming, and it's something to promote quick decision and also to promote communication within your team, right? The sprint review is when you have the things that you said that you're going to be working with, they are done, and you really want to see your client, they review the things that you did and they provide any type of feedback. Also is when you take the main backlog and you start adapting. Let's gonna say that the client said, okay, I don't really want 20 graphics for the Black Friday launch. Let's gonna do maybe 10 graphics plus 10 reels. I'm not talking about content creation, right? So that's when you take the time to have that demo with your customer. He's going to provide some feedback, you're going to review it, and then you're going to adapt the main to-do list, the main backlog. The sprint retrospective, which is another ceremony or another meeting, is when you discuss with your team, whatever is 3 to 9 people, remember maximum 9 people, is what went right, what went wrong, and how you can improve. Continuous improvement is key. So the next one is we're gonna be more specific when it comes to what is the planning ceremony. Excuse me. Okay, here you go. Sorry. When you're planning your next 2 weeks, your next sprint, right? It's at the beginning of the iteration, at the beginning of the sprint. If you have a sprint that is gonna last 2 weeks, you say, okay, we're gonna be working in this task for the next 2 weeks. It means that maximum the meeting that you're gonna be having for for a work that you're going to be doing for the next week is maximum 4 hours for 2 weeks of sprint. If you're only working for the next week for a sprint of 1 week, then you're going to be having a sprint plan meeting of only 2 hours. So it's 2 hours for 1 week of sprint, or 4 hours maximum for 2 weeks of sprints. So the entire team comes, they meet with the product owner, they prioritize the things that they have to do, they do a forecast of the things that they can do, and they come together with the definition of done and the definition of everything they have to do for the compromise, and they committed to do the work in that sprint planning. The other one is the daily stand-up meeting or the daily scrum. Is once per day, is typically in the morning, or different, it depends on the time zones that we have, right? Different people for different worldwide, where it's no more than 15 minutes. Very important. If you need to go and Google online timer, do it. That's no problem. But the daily scrum or the daily stand-up meeting, it can be no more than 15 minutes. Okay. I put here when it's a time, when it's meeting, I Google online timer, and I put my timer there, no more than 15 minutes, right? You don't have to book a conference. If you are a corporate world, you don't have to book a conference room. You have to just stand up and have the chat, not sitting down, right? You have the chat, you move around, maybe you can have some team games there, and you can, it's very informative, it's very informal, but at the same time, everybody have to be together, and they have to cross and talk about what is going on across the team, right? It's not a detailed meeting. I'm not talking about agendas. Everybody knows what they need to do. It's very informative, it's very fun, it's very light, and we are addressing 3 simple questions. What did I work on yesterday? What I'm working today? And what issues are blocking me? So the Scrum Master here, this role, it could be you as a VA or a product owner, can help me to remove that impediment, right? Because if I am a graphic designer and I say, okay, I'm having problems with this code or with this color, can you help me out? Because I'm working with that today. So that is the main purpose of that stand-up meeting. Be light, be fun, be informative, be able to have everybody in the same place, not sitting down, standing up, just be quick, informative, and answering the 3 questions. What did I work on yesterday? What I'm working on today? And what issues are blocking me? The other ceremony or the sprint review is the ceremony or the meeting is when you review what you did, right? The work that is done is at the end of the sprint or at the end of the milestone. That's another word. Typically, it's like an hour per week of iteration. If you have 1 week of sprint, or it could be it could be 2 hours if it's something that lasts you 2 weeks to do it. A sprint of 2 weeks, it's a maximum of 2 hours. You showcase the work of the team. They can be a casual format, like private demos, right? Something informal, right? The work that you're going to be presenting to the product owner or to your client, to your stakeholder, right? Normally they can be there. The people that are required to be there is the product owner or the project leader, or all the team needs to be there. The Scrum Master who works with that, and all the work needs to be done, needs to be ready. It's not that, okay, let me think about it if something is missing. Not at the beginning, you agree what is the definition of done, so everything needs to be done. So the last meeting is the retrospective ceremony. Is when you sit down with your team. At the end of the work is done, you agree that this is going to be a sprint of 1 week or 2 weeks. You finish, you review with your client if you want your client to be there, or you review it with your project leader, and then you decided that you're going to be meeting for 1 hour, 1 hour and a half. That's the maximum time, or 45 minutes per week per iteration, right? Or 1 hour and a half is the maximum time that you grant when you finish your sprint, and you are working with your team. You're expressing how everything went, why you worked well, what you didn't do, what are the were the challenges that you had during the sprint, the iteration, right? Even if the things that you did, the different tasks, they were across the team, yeah, everything went well, not any problem, right? Um, Never stop doing retrospective, because the mindset inside the agility and the values is to have continuous improvement, always moving forward, right? And always to improve yourself as a team member, as a scrum master, as the way you're doing things in a new way. Having those meetings, that hour and a half, is it gives you the ongoing guidance to keep things doing well. If it's something that you can improve, something, how you're going to be improving that, and making notes of the lessons learned. Those things that you're learning today, I'm going to be helping you for the next launch. I'm going to be helping you for the next year. I'm going to be helping you for the next Black Friday, right? Marketing strategy that you want to do. What could be improved? What worked well? How would it improve? And make actionable commitments. If it's something about communication, it's something and differences in the time zone that didn't work in this sprint for my team. We have to be able to sit down and be transparent and talk about that, and be able to make a plan and make commitment and make actionable commitments to the next sprint. And that is very important. So that is at glance of what it is. Your project management is another way of working. Again, here we are not talking about we are only going to do initiation completely. We're only going to do the planning complete, all the planning of all the work at the beginning of the project, and then we execute on the complete plan. And maybe we have the monitoring and controlling in a different area, and then we close the project. No, here we're planning at the beginning. We have a planning a meeting, and we're planning the work for the next sprint, for the next week, for the next 2 weeks, right? And we're gonna have daily stand-up meetings. You stand up and you have that conversation with your team. Your team is self-organized, so cross-functional. They are experts, they are responsible, they're committed. You are the one who needs to help them, be a servant leader, be able to help them to remove those blockers, that information. Maybe you are a product owner, you're a project manager, you are the one dealing with the things that they have to do, and you're updating the project management system. They are doing as well, but they are the one responsible to do the job. So you're helping them as Scrum Master to do that job for the next sprint. The sprint is going to be from 1 week to 4 weeks, depending on the time that you committed at the beginning of the project. Okay, so every time you finish that they finish their work, they come with the work, everything is reviewed, you provide feedback, and then you sit down with your team and you talk, and you are transparent on what happened during that last 2 weeks, and you come up with the plan, what you did, what it worked well for you as a team, what you had to do again, what you had to accommodate, what you had to improve. You learn from that lesson, you make a commitment, you make an actionable plan and real action plan for the next one. So I want to thank you for being here with me today to listen for these 2 hours, which I know is not easy. And I want to present to you the upcoming The upcoming Simplified Project Management Academy is coming in February 2023. We're gonna be having 3 months of full support with your projects. I'm gonna be guiding you on what it is to work in a waterfall and a very typical type of waterfall, a type of project for all your projects. I'm gonna be helping you how to deal a project to be successful. I'm gonna be helping you how to conduct the meetings, how to lead your team, how to lead your people, how to motivate your people, how to deal with your projects. I'm going to be helping you also with the framework that is going to help you to be successful in all your projects. Once you have that framework that you understand, you fully understand, and you're capable to put it on place on all your projects, even though you have to tweak it, even though you have to review it, depending on your team, and depending on the requirements and the vision and the goals, you're able to move forward. Also, during the academy, you're going to be having tools, templates that you're going to be using, project charters, SOP. You're going to be learning how to talk as a real project manager, even though you're not certified. You're going to have real world example. We're going to have weekly meetings. We're going to be reviewing, right? We're going to conduct the sprint review with you so we can review your specific plan. We're going to have one-on-one coaching and mentoring sessions where you can present the project that you're working on. Maybe you don't have an idea and you want to start planning with me and audit how you're going to break down the different steps and the different stages and the different requirements of your project, right? And you can come with me because we're going to be able to do it during the academy. So be on the loop. You're going to be receiving emails very soon with the Simplified Project Management Academy, just for VA, new project managers, new unofficial project managers, project leader. It doesn't matter your role. If you're working with project, you're a project leader, this is for you. The upcoming Simplified Project Management Academy. So be on the loop. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for being part of my team or my community of Simplified Project Management. I'm clearing the path to successful projects for you. So see you soon and see you on the next time, which is going to be Agile Project Management only for marketers. This is going to be interesting, very good and interactive one. Before you leave, I'm going to tell you, because I think I didn't mention that to you. I think I did, but let me mention that to you again. You are going to be receiving the different materials that we touched base today, the presentation. You're going to be receiving the recording. You're going to be receiving the Agile Manifesto and the principles and the values. You're going to be receiving the project management essentials, which is this one. It has a Canva. It has the Canva, which is this is the one from the previous one. But you're going to be receiving the Canva board. So you have the example there. The Canva board with some, and also I'm going to be adding the list and the resources of the add-ons that you have to add here in the Google Chrome. And how to have the colors, for an instance, for the to-do list, as I have here, for the list of the list of doing, the done, the different add-ons and the power up that I use. But this is the Canva board that you're going to be receiving by email, and also you're going to be receiving the login for your membership site. If you decide to move forward in February for the academy, then you're going to be receiving another logins for the different topics and the different trainings that you're going to be having inside the Simplified Project Management Academy. So I just want to be clear about that you're going to be receiving all those resources, all that information, and that is going to be helping you leading the path to successful projects. So see you soon, and thank you very much. Bye-bye. Bye.